So you have this kid with autism. Why does he keep flipping out? Jeez Louise, this person. Okay, so to understand why individuals with autism are overreacting and seem to have a lot of anger, aggression, or other things, you need to understand a little bit about the brain first. We all have this thing in our brain called the limbic system. It's a very, very central portion of the brain. It's very much in charge of our instincts and things that develop first as babies. And later, thinking and logic, those develop later on in the brain, much, much later. The limbic system is very much in control of aggression and emotions. And when you think limbic system, think flight, fight, or freeze. When this part of the brain is activated, someone's heart rate will increase and their pupils will dilate. And often anger comes from fear, which is this fear response. So individuals with autism are very, very sensitive to many different stimuli in their environment. Their brain is to see more details, where we see more of the big picture. So you might have a glow party at school, and this is a great thing, and all the kids are excited, but your individual with autism walks in and sees the disco ball, can't handle all the stimulus from the lights, and they just start flipping out. They're kind of running on a primal instinct, not logic and reason. Same thing with loud noises. It may be the fire alarm at school. Now, we all understand logically that this thing is supposed to be loud to kind of initiate that primal instinct from us to run away. We want to get away from whatever is dangerous. But often people don't even really think about loud noises in the context of a teacher's tone of voice. A parent or a teacher may speak in a hurried tone or urgent. And individuals with autism who do not read social cues can kind of interpret this as dangerous or hostile. And so when I say social cue, there's just so much of our communication is done with body language and not just words. Individuals with autism have a very, very difficult time picking up on body language that's communicated. One example I might give is there might be two kids on the playground that are walking away from this kid with autism. They might be thinking, man, he's annoying. He keeps talking about Pokemon for about 5 hours and I'm kind of tired of it. So they turn around and they walk away. Well, the kid with autism doesn't understand that turning around and walking away is us actually saying, I'm done with this conversation, go away. But they don't pick up on that nonverbal social cue. So you as a teacher or a parent, if you're constantly using an authoritative tone or a hurried or a rush tone, what you're doing with your voice is you're actually triggering the person's limbic system. So they're going to react to you with anger and a reaction, and then you're going to try to even get louder or more authoritative to kind of squelch that and get it to stop. But that doesn't really work. The more you've activated that limbic system, the more and more primed and geared that thing is ready to just go fire at the drop of a hat. So what you have to do is you have to remember that the muscle is kind of like a brain. The brain is kind of like a muscle. Kind of screwed that up. So parts of your brain can be worked out and become easily triggered, and then it's not just the limbic portion of the brain. The prefrontal cortex is what's in charge of our reasoning and logic and learning and things like that. So you want to explain to this person, well, I used a hurried tone because we only have about 2 minutes to get from this classroom into the lunchroom. We're on a very, very tight schedule. So to be able to appeal or use this thinking and logic portion of this person's brain, you have to first get them out of this fight or flight response. Have you ever seen someone who is running on just sheer instinct and adrenaline? You know, those women who can lift like whatever 100-pound cars off of individuals who've been run over. These are limbic system responses. Adrenaline can be very, very powerful. But when that is flowing into this person's brain, you're not going to be able to reason with them with logic. So don't even try until you can bring that person down to a comfortable, easy, calm state. Then you can use logic and reasoning to explain to them what's going on. So that's why individuals with autism will often just react very, very intensely.